town centre, and we're going to meet Eric, the chief technician here at the ABC Cinema in Canterbury. Now we're all going to be fascinated by what Eric is talking to us about. He knows what he's doing. He runs a really good projection room. He's really keen, and it's been a pleasure to visit. So we're going to go inside now and meet Eric and be fascinated with this beautiful cinema, the ABC Canterbury.
Hello, I'm Eric Moore. I'm the chief at the ABC Canterbury.
Okay, what projector have you got, Eric?
This here is a FP20.
In projection 1?
Yep, box 1.
Box 1, yes. And this is original box?
Original 1933 projection box, yeah.
Half the cinema was destroyed or something in the war?
Yeah, well, basically a third of it's missing. It was bombed by the Germans.
Oh no.
I think it was 1940, 1941.
Yeah.
And a third of it was smashed. They were playing Gone with the Wind at the time.
No.
They were just letting in a house, and a third of it was demolished, but luckily it was just the ballroom. The actual projection areas, the actual auditoriums survived.
Wow. Do you have digital up here?
Yeah, we've got CP500
I see the
just
500,
there.
yeah. Excellent. How many seats does number 1 hold?
I think it's just coming up to 500.
And number 2?
About 420.
Because I was here many years ago, and I always remember this as being one of the nicer ABCs.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky here in that the original fittings are still in number 1 auditorium, which is the original circle area.
Yes.
Number 2, which we'll see in a minute downstairs, that was converted into a bingo hall in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah, the old stalls area. And then in 88 it was converted back into a cinema, so we're now a twin. You see, so we have it's a bit of a schizophrenic cinema, because up here we've got the original 1933 decor in that auditorium, whereas down in the stalls area that was one of the very earliest modern style auditoriums, as seen in the very earliest multiplexes.
Has it got a big screen downstairs?
It's got a bigger screen than this one, actually.
Really?
You would never believe it by looking, but because there's so much more to the sides of the screen here in number 1, you automatically think that this screen is bigger, but actually the screen downstairs is bigger. We play all the big films in here because we have the digital and we have a bit more seating, you see.
Yeah.
But I prefer number 2.
Alright.
Yeah. I do all the making up downstairs because it's on the ground level.
Of course,
so I don't like lumping everything upstairs.
Yeah. And where did you work before here?
ABC Maidstone.
And when did that close?
That was... Where are we now? 98. Things move on, you know, and it is a bit sad, but you know, the cinema industry goes from strength to strength. It's not like cinemas are closing and no other ones are opening.
That's true.
It's not as if like in the mid-80s when everyone thought that the cinema industry was going to just go because of video and it would be no more. That it's the exact opposite now.
That's right.
Where they were saying, you know, it will only be shown in cinemas that have got THX.
Oh, I know.
You know, and then they backtrack on that as well.
Yes.
What I like about this place and other places, because they've just got so much history. There's so many hidden rooms. There's sections, you know, that the public never see. You
Absolutely.
know. Yeah. So, and this has got more than most.
Really?
Well. Oh, yeah.
Have you got an old stage ending here?
We've got the old dressing room still.
No.
We've got the old ballroom, you know, that was actually bomb damaged.
Yeah.
That's still up there.
Wow.
You can still climb in it actually and pick little bits of shrapnel out.
Really?
Still. Oh yeah.
Good God.
This is box 2. Right, it's basically exactly the same setup as upstairs. We have the FP20, we have the Peerless lamp house, we have the same cake stand, but as I say, this was built in '88.
Yes.
When MGM at that time were just starting to get into multiplexes, and it was built along the same lines as what they were starting to do in their very earliest multiplexes. So, you know, decor-wise in the auditorium, it looks quite modern for '88. Of course, you know, things have moved on since then. But,
Sure.
but as I say, this was built in '88. When MGM at that time were just starting to get into multiplexes, and it was built along the same lines as what they were starting to do in their very earliest multiplexes. So, you know, decor-wise in the auditorium, it looks quite modern for '88. Yes.
I prefer the look of it down here. I prefer the sound down here to upstairs. Down here it's nice and bassy. The surrounds are quite low down on the wall.
Yes, so you can hear them.
The film has more of an impact, I think, down here rather than a converted circle.
Yes.
You know, in actual fact, as I say, I would prefer to watch a film down here than upstairs.
Yes.
It's just got a bit more oomph down here.
Yes.
You know, you have an explosion or you have a music track, you feel it far more than you do upstairs. You know.
That's probably because the acoustics are better down here.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean the side walls down here are curtains, which helps with the acoustics. Whereas upstairs, I mean, as I'll show you later, the auditorium is pretty much exactly as it was in '33.
Wow.
So you've still got the brick walls, and so acoustically, you don't get the same sort of effect as you would down here.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, the box is pretty big, isn't it? For a downstairs projection room.
What basically they've done is, where we're standing, this is part of the old stalls area.
Yes.
And they've just built into the stalls. The original stalls went about another 10 feet beyond this projection box that way. So seating-wise, we've only got about 3/4 of the seats. We had a redeck a couple of years ago and upgraded the seating in both auditoriums.
Oh, nice.
Very nice, very comfortable in there. We still do closed tabs, you know, on the end of the trailers.
Oh, lovely.
Whether we need a lens change or not, you know, it's just part of the presentation.
Absolutely.
We always try here, you know, just to, you know, to put presentation into a show rather than just press a button and just let it start.
You know, you want to see all this.
Well, I always try to put across what I would like to see if I went to a cinema.
Yeah.
You know. There was no such thing back then as, you know, preservation orders or anything like that. Everything was just completely stripped out. It's just a crying shame. The odd thing about this job is that if you're doing your job properly,
nobody knows you.
Nobody knows you.
That's
you know?
right.
Nobody thinks about you at all. And if you should have a problem, okay, you have a film breakdown or you have a projector fault, the people that are in the auditorium, they forget the hundreds of times they've been to the cinema and nothing's ever gone wrong, suddenly, you know, you are the villain of the piece, you know,
absolutely.
and it's like, what about all the other times that you've ever been here, you know, and that's the contradiction of the job. If you're doing your job properly, nobody will ever think about you. Would you like to go out and see the auditorium?
Oh, please.
Before they
yes, thank you very much.
More people in. Come on through.
Thank you.
Shut down upstairs in a sec. This might be of interest to you. I've started framing pictures.
Oh, look at the old ABC lozenge.
Oh yeah. This is interesting. That's the actual bomb damage just there.
Good grief. And this one is where they just built the wall.
Yeah, this is where they just built a wall straight down and just cut off the remains of the damage.
Wow.
This is the actual ballroom just here.
And
this is the original foyer. There's the original entrance, which we still use today.
Yes.
So this is the actual foyer areas, and this is the ballroom.
Okay.
And the actual cinema itself is beyond that. So
Wow.
the building itself got off quite lightly.
Thank you.
I'm going to take some video.
At least you've only got 2 screens to worry about.
This is true.
Yes. There's quite a bonus today.
It's only 2 screens, but you know, I mean, we're kept on our toes because you know sometimes we might have like 7, 8, 9 films a week.
Never.
Oh yeah. We run like a multiplex.
Yeah, good God.
Very often, particularly at weekends, you might have like the kiddies film, then you might have 2 shows of another film,
Yes.
then a tea time film, then back to the show that you were showing at 2 o'clock, and then of course you've always got the late night show. So
Of course, yeah.
I mean, at the moment we have 2 films per screen, but it's not unusual to have 3, maybe 4.
So you're going to have to lift on and off all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. But all the floor staff are well experienced with all that now.
They help you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What do you do about ads and trailers? Have you got 2, 3 films, 4 films?
Well, we tend to show the adverts with the actual film that's shown at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, the main film, the one that you're showing the most of, and
Yes.
that will be on around about 8 o'clock. I've always found though, you know, if you have a sequel, it will never do as well as the first one, because particularly in Hollywood, you know, they just repeat what went on before.
That's right.
And 102 Dalmatians is the same. It's like, okay, what did people like in the first one?
Yes.
Let's multiply it. It's the same with The Lost World. What did everyone like? Oh, it's the T-Rex. So we'll have 2 T-Rexes and we'll have a baby T-Rex.
That's
know?
right.
Right, if I take you into the auditorium,
Oh, yes.
if I can leave you in the auditorium, I've just got to go down and put the next show on downstairs, and I'll
Okay.
come up and get you, okay?
Oh, thank you very much.
As I say, I mean, the original, I can show you actually, the original back row of the stalls was actually here.
Here.
And then you had a wooden barrier between
Yes.
the pillars that, you know, you could lean on, the staff
Yeah.
would lean on. So the actual stalls went way, way down from here.
Wow.
Beyond that wall you have a storage room, and beyond that is the projection box, and then beyond that is the auditorium. So the actual stalls area was much
Wow. Yeah.
longer than it is now.
Now that speaker looks like, is that an old surround or just an old PA speaker?
I think it's an old surround, yes. Yes.
Still working.
Oh yeah, it's our foyer music. We always try to have foyer music playing.
Yes.
The downside of this place is, like, can you smell that smell? Can you smell gravy or something?
It smells fresh.
Yeah, the problem is there's lots of restaurants around the back from here. And the inlet
Yes.
brings these smells wafting in. 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, you cannot spend more than 10 minutes in here. You know,
Yes,
you just, there's a Chinese, there's an Indian, and there's a Tex-Mex, and all the smells come in, and it's just...
Yeah. I'm just looking at the back of your P list there. It's not J. Frank Proclus, is it?
No.
Oh, you got the Chicago one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Same as upstairs.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of these American ones at all. So you must have the green handles, yes?
That's right, yeah.
You have, there they are. Is there any reason why this P list is back to front?
No idea. I don't know why that was put in like that at all.
That's a lovely cinema.
Oh yeah. We have the Gretton Ward here, one of the early types of Gretton Ward,
Yes.
as you can see, but it's packed up. It has intermittent faults on it, and the problem with an intermittent fault
you don't know when it's going to happen.
You don't know when it's going to happen,
That's right.
and once it's happened, you're not there when it happens.
That's
you don't
right.
see what's happened.
Yes.
And just to keep the hassle down, we've switched to manual, and we run both screens manually now.
Oh wow.
Just got to do this feature change.
What are you playing down here?
And this is vertical limit.
Oh right.
As I say, we do close the tabs. We close the tabs. I have 10 feet of film spacing going through now, just to differentiate between the trailers and the actual feature itself.
Lovely.
And we're on. There we go.
Okay.
Film on.
Fantastic.
I have to go back upstairs again now.
Okay.
I like the way you still have the, you can still see where the
other
original
projectors
portholes
were.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the way the light fittings still have the glass cases on the top. And here before me, he hoarded everything.
Really?
He never threw anything away, and there are storerooms here with old telephones from like the 40s, you know, the old house phones.
God.
He never threw anything away. It's incredible, some of the stuff that's here.
Again, it's got atmosphere.
It's nice and big,
Yes.
but then back in those days you had to.
Yes.
One of the photos that are down in box 2, where you see the projectors, you see that this is where one of the projectors originally was.
Yes.
The second projector was just
There.
here, and then you've got a large porthole just beyond
spotlight.
the digital. No, there was a slide projector
Oh right, yeah.
down there, like a magic lantern type thing, just here. So, and I just find that very interesting, you know, that you can look at that photo, and that's it in the 40s, you know, and you look at it now, and well, there's that bit in the photo. You know, the old, the glass covers, they're all in those photos as well, you know.
How long we had the reverse scan on, I just noticed?
Well, I think it was put in here in '98, when the refurbishment came. The digital was put in at the same time, you know, it was the 65th anniversary of the building, and the company spent an awful lot of money on it, and and this was all put in the same time that they redecorated the auditoriums.
I see you got the split roller as your safety roller.
Yeah, godsend that is. That and the trip roller on the case.
Oh God, yes, definitely. They're still playing the ABC titles, the Odeon titles.
No, we haven't got any Odeon titles. We won't be having Odeon titles until we're rebranded
Yeah.
in Odeon.
Oh, right.
And we've given up on the ABC titles because they were just so tatty.
Yes.
No other sites have any spare ones, so I've cut them out now.
Oh, right.
At the end of the adverts, we go into the preview of coming attractions
Yes.
logo. Before there was an ABC Presents, but I've
Okay.
removed those now because they've just
Yeah.
got too tatty.
Yeah.
This is the old rewind room, which we kind of just use as a little staff room.
Oh, wow. It's neat.
We're still in the process of doing it up now. We want some carpet in here and, make it into a proper staff room.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, what I've found is it tends to be different engineers put them in different places.
Yeah. Who's your engineer for it here, you know?
Well, our engineer now is Danny Short. It was Bob
yeah.
Dobson before that,
Yeah.
and before that it was Ian Carter.
Oh, I know Ian Carter.
Yeah, but he's retired now. He's the guy who put that on. That's what I mean. Ian Carter
right.
always used to put them up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Bob will put them somewhere else.
Now, when you showed The Exorcist when it first came out, now tell me, did you have any problems with it?
Yeah, we did. I don't remember proper instances. But yeah, I know the floor staff were very scared. They kept hearing, noises and grunts and groans and stuff
Really?
like that. I mean, like every cinema tends to have its own ghost stories and
Yes,
that,
yes.
And Maidstone did have a ghost, and people would swear that they would hear things, whether it's
Really?
their imagination working overtime or not,
Yeah.
Nothing too extreme,
I believe in ghosts. I believe cinemas do have them.
No, I haven't seen anything like that there.
Yeah.
Here. I've heard stuff at Maidstone.
Oh yeah, what we heard.
Yeah, well, Maidstone's pretty much like this, in that the circle has got a false floor going across,
Yes.
and at Maidstone, the two large cinemas are in the circle area,
Yeah.
and the stalls area is still the bingo hall. And I was just there one evening, and I had to go down to the battery room, which was in the basement, to check on something. This is late at night, everyone had gone home, and I was just checking it before catching my bus.
Yes.
And I went down there, checked the batteries, and walking along the corridor and through the wall, I could hear footsteps.
No.
Okay, in what is the bar area of
Yes.
the bingo hall.
Yes.
And I just thought, oh, somebody must be in there still. But then I thought, hang on, there weren't any cars in the car park. And if the manager's in there, his car would be there, And then I thought, well, it must be burglars. The place
Oh,
must
right.
be in robbed,
Yes.
you see. And I thought, well, I'm not going to tackle them on by myself like this. So I went home, took the coward's way out.
Wow.
Went home, saw the manager the next day and said, well, were there any trouble last night? He said, no. And I said, well, were you on till the end last night? And he said, yeah, but I finished at 10 and this was at 11. And nothing had happened. He had set all the alarms. There's pressure pads underneath all the carpets and everything, movement sensors and stuff like that. And there was absolutely no one in there, but I definitely heard footsteps through the wall.
Wow, that's
It wasn't
amazing.
the building cooling down. It wasn't
you know
rattling
those.
pipes. They were footsteps. I heard them go up, stop, heard the feet shuffle as the person
Yeah.
turned, and then walk the other way. First thing I'll show you is out this window. Basically, if we open this window, the original cinema continued to where the railings and the telephone box are now.
Oh wow.
Okay, so that gives you an idea of how much has been lost.
Yes.
And if you actually point the camera down there, you'll see some blue and
Oh yes.
tiles. That's actually flooring.
That's the floor of the cinema.
Yeah, you
Wow.
see, and they've just never taken it away.
Good
In
God.
fact, you can see the brickwork down there of the foundations of the edge of the building as well.
Oh yes, you can. Now that's amazing.
And as I say, they just cut off the damaged section and
built a
then
wall.
just built a wall straight down, which is a bit of an eyesore if you're walking down the high street towards this way. It's a shame they never did anything, you know,
Yeah.
more decorative, but it's just after the war they wanted to get everything back.
And they didn't have the money, I suppose.
Exactly, and you know, you've got to continue trading.
Yes.
So, but yeah, it continued on through here. There was a doorway just here, which went through to where the battery room used to be. Down here, what is now the battery room used to be the male staff room. These are just old storage rooms, but originally, now it's used as the access to number one, but
Yes.
back then it was just like the side exit.
Yes.
Not many people used it at all. This here is the ballroom,
No.
just through here. This gives you just an idea of what happened, because
Oh, look at this.
as you see, it's the same design work that you see up in the number one auditoriums. These are
Yes.
the original pillars.
Of course.
And the ballroom was just here. Of course, this wall wasn't here. And it went on, as I say, to that telephone box there. And you can actually see here how the floor has bowed up with the explosion.
So that actually was a flat floor.
Yes, as I say, this whole area here was the ballroom.
Good grief.
On the blueprints, it shows that just beyond this pillar was the orchestra pit.
Wow.
Down at that end, that was the restaurant area for the ballroom, and they had tea and dancing. I think
Yes.
every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoon
And
in this
they-
huge ballroom. The actual building itself goes on beyond that breathe block wall. Part of it was sectioned off, as you can see with this wall and door
Yes.
here, and beyond that is the manager's flat.
Wow.
Because a section of it was actually sectioned off just after the war, and the manager actually lived
Lives
in.
here.
It hasn't been used as a flat for 30 years now,
Ah.
something like that. And again, that's just storage now.
Yeah. But I mean, look at this. That is beautiful, isn't it?
In its day, it would have been, marvellous. It's like the decorative work at Maidstone,
Yes.
they were all picked out in gold and greens, and the flowers were in different colours.
This is what people don't see, and this, no, it's a shame.
But this goes back to what I was saying about, this is what I like about a traditional cinema
Yeah.
than a multiplex. A multiplex is modern, fine. It's built specifically for that purpose, fine. But you don't get any sense of history to the place. I mean, if the walls could talk here, the stories they could tell.
I
And that's
know.
what I like about traditional cinemas.
Yes.
Everyone I visited, they all seem to have these tiny little rooms,
Yes.
They have these whole sections that the public just don't see.
That's
you
right.
know. And as I say, this was quite an area, if you
Oh,
look at
this
the
is-
blueprints.
This is beautiful.
If we continue on down, these walls were put in only like 20 years ago, and they basically are the staff rooms now. You see,
Yes.
they've divided up
Oh,
the
yes.
actual area into staff rooms.
Yes.
But here and there you still do see
Yeah.
and in here, this is where the cafe area was.
Yes.
Just here, this is where the restaurant was served. You had a window there, looking out onto the back stairs.
God. Well, look at this decorative.
It was quite a place in its time.
Oh, yes.
I like this. You see, that's the original wallpaper. It's still there. It's all just been painted over the years, but
That's the original from 1930 something?
Yeah, 1933.
Grief. I love these old radiators. They are great.
If I take you through, this used to be the main entrance to the circle, as I say. The main entrance to the circle was from the original main foyer.
Yes.
Now this is basically just used as the
Oh,
the
right.
back exit for number one.
Yes.
These are very old, these light buttons here. Something I've never been able to understand, the old rewind room that I showed you up in box
Yes.
one, there's a little cupboard there, and you go in the cupboard and it's got a window, okay, and it's actually that window there.
Oh, right.
Now, I don't know why on earth they decided to put a window which overlooks the back stairs.
Yes.
I have no idea whatsoever.
Good God.
why on earth they would do that. But as I say, this is the original way that you would have come up to the circle.
Yes.
You would have come up, you wouldn't have come up as far as here, because just round the corner here, that's your way up into number one, into the circle.
Of course, yes.
So you'd have come up from the ground floor, which is just down there, you'd have come up. This is a cloakroom. This is the original cloakroom just here. Again, another window. There couldn't have been much light going in through that, but they put a window in anyway. And this is the original cloakroom. It's still got coat hangers.
Really?
Hanging up on the rails in there, yeah.
Good grief.
And it hasn't been touched for years and years and years.
It's the ceiling, the original ceiling.
Yeah, this is all over the place. A pattern. I think it jars a bit with the more delicate architecture there is in the building. But yeah, it's pretty much exactly as it was originally. Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, you could have then gone through to the ballroom if you wish.
Yes.
Or to the tea room, just to the tea room and have something to eat before you saw the film.
But this has really got a lot of grandeur about it.
Oh yeah, it still has. This actually is one of the areas where the ghost has been heard.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the ladies' staff room there. There was some of the girls were in there, and they heard keys jingling.
No.
Someone walked past jingling their keys and opened the door.
We just said
Absolutely no one there.
past.
Oh no, that's Anne. She's just gone in.
All right.
And yeah, there was absolutely no one down this corridor at all. Right. So you can notice if you look at the photos that are in box 2, this wall here actually is a fake wall. And
Oh, really?
There was a recess where you could go down in, and that's where the actual category boards were just recessed in there. I don't know why. This is something that's only happened in the last 20 years. They've just brought the wall down and put the quads on there like that.
Wow.
So I don't know why they've done that. And also there was another door beyond this wall,
Yes.
but then they've built that off and they've made the cash desk area.
Sure.
What you've got to remember with this building is when it was converted into a bingo hall on the ground floor.
Oh yes. 2 entrances.
Well, you shared it.
Right.
These doors were for both the bingo hall and the cinema. And as far as I can tell, you actually came through here, and this. That wasn't there at all. This wall wasn't here at all. That was all part of the main foyer as well. And then you had doors which took you into the stalls. The gents is original, just there. But this, as I say, we are now in the stalls area.
Yeah.
There were doors just here which took you through into the stalls area. So if this door was here, you'd come through and you would immediately, as I say, in line with these pillars, that was the back of the stalls. You see. So that wall wasn't there. That's the cleaners cupboard, just here.
Oh wow!
And as you can see, you can still see just
part of
the original stall decor.
There it is, yeah. Wow.
I mean, this is an exit way here, but again, the foyer went out. These walls weren't here, that wall wasn't there, this wall wasn't here. And over, just through that wall, through there, is the staircase we were on.
Yes.
And that was your main way up into the circle, was the staircase, which is over in that far corner.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a heck of a place in its day.
It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And you know all about that. That's brilliant.
Well, I find it very interesting, and it's a case of you get the blueprints and you think, well, that, I don't know where that is, that must be there somewhere. And you go along and you try and work out where the hidden rooms are, you see. And it's through trial and error that you can find stuff. For instance, the proscenium is just blocked up. I've yet to get in there and have a look. I want to get in there and see it.
Did they have a stage here?
Yeah, I found last year. I found the actual organ pit, which I didn't know was still there. But I found the organ pit. It's still there,
And a room I want to go into is, according to the blueprints, above the ceiling in what is now number 2 is the old organ chamber.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yes.
And according to some photos I've seen, it had a lattice work grill.
Ah.
And I think if I can get into that room, I can look out through that lattice work and I'll be
Yes.
able to see the old proscenium,
Yes.
which is beyond number 1 screen in a void area that you just cannot get into now.
Yes.
And if I can get into that organ chamber room, I can look out through that grill and see this void area and see the original proscenium. I mean, we still have all the dressing rooms and everything here. I mean, they just dusty, hideous old storage rooms now. But again, that is harking back to a past time, and that's what I like about traditional cinemas.
Yes.
You know, I like the idea that many cinemas were built as theatres as well as cinemas because nobody knew how long cinema would last.
That's right.
And you could always use it as a theatre if cinema should fold. And I find that incredible now.
Yes.
That people were that unsure, back then,
And back in the 60s, all the pop stars used the venues.
That's right.
And do you know if they ever came here?
I don't know about here. I know about Maidstone because
Yes.
I was at Maidstone for far longer, and that's the same thing. It's still got all the dressing rooms and everything. Here in Canterbury, in medieval times, there was the old original East Gate into Canterbury, was just where the roundabout is now.
Right.
And there is records that you used to have plays performed somewhere in this vicinity.
Really?
So you're going back to medieval times
Yes.
on this very spot. People
Yes.
were actually putting on performances
Yes.
for the public, and here we are 500 years later, and we're doing pretty
Still
much the
doing
same
it.
thing, And I just find that incredibly ironic, and we're
brilliant.
carrying on a tradition of 500 years ago that we are actually putting on performances for the public.
Yes. We're outside the cinema, and this was actually the flooring of the cinema before it was bombed. Wow.
Just there, you've got the foundations. That's the actual line of the building here. That's the outer wall of the building.
Really?
Which came out like so, then along, and then it went out towards the telephone boxes.
It's amazing.
So this area here is us as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the window there, this is part of the dressing rooms,
Never.
and it's got the skylight for it as well. They're all the dressing rooms, just there.
Oh, right, so that's your stage.
Yeah, that's the actual back of the cinema just there.
Yes.
The organ chamber that I told you about earlier is just there.
Yes.
This second roof just here, that's the organ chamber. That's the room that I've got to find a way of getting into.
Ah, yes.
Because if I can get into that, I can see further into the void areas.
Yes. That door that's bolted up there.
Yeah, that's just a redundant room. It's got an old water tank in it.
Oh, right. And this shop here, is that, the house, is that part of the building or?
No, it's built onto it. It's rather crass. The windows, the other side of it, overlook our boiler house. It's not the most attractive of views, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, if I just take you through here,
Sure.
you can get an idea of the actual size of the cinema itself. See, this is our rear wall.
That is really a good wall.
It's not bad, is it?
It really looks modern, you know. Is that the original brick from 1930 something?
Oh, it's
Really?
1933, yeah.
Good God, that looks so well preserved. Ah, but what's this here? This ramp?
This wall here, and it also goes around the other side. You can't really see it, but beyond here there's a void area that you can get into.
Yes.
And this wall continues through there.
Oh,
And
right.
there's actually a scratch in it that says 1666.
No.
So yeah, when they built the cinema, they built up to this real old wall. Of course, all this is new.
Yes.
But they built right up to this old building that was here originally, and there's only that bit of the wall, and there's a bit just through there that says 1666.
Good grief. I can smell the restaurants now.
Yeah,
What you
you see
said
what I
earlier.
mean?
Yeah. What's this piece of concrete wall there?
Well, that on the blueprints says loudspeaker room,
Oh,
and it's a room that you can't get to. You can't get to it because it's in that void area beyond
yes.
screen one. But I don't know if you can see it from here. If you come round, there's a void area through the gents which you can get into. If you come along, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there's a door.
Oh, right.
Okay, but there's no way up to that door.
Oh really? So you got to climb on the wall?
Behind that wall, there's just a drop,
Oh,
so
no.
you can't actually get to that door. But on the blueprint, that says that it's a loudspeaker room. What a loudspeaker room is, I don't know.
God. But that's not backstage, is it? The cinema doesn't go straight that way, does it?
Yeah, I mean, this is the old original
That's the mono
auditorium.
speaker then.
Well, why would it be on the side and not at the front?
That's what I'm asking you.
No, it's not beyond the screen. It's actually in the
Outside.
auditorium.
Right.
So I don't know why it would be called a loudspeaker room.
Oh. So that door, actually, there's a drop all the way down there, so
Yes.
it's not as if you can get in.
There's not even a lintel at the bottom
No.
of the door.
Oh dear.
The stairs have been completely taken away. There's absolutely no way you can get to it.
God.
The only way you could get to it would be to stand on that wall and maybe try and force the lock. And maybe,
Yeah, it's
one
getting
day
out
soon
though,
I'll
isn't
do
it?
that. It's getting back out.
Yeah, you don't know where you're going to be going. No one sees you for days. Oh.
I would like to know what's in there. But it looks like an add-on. Do you see
Yeah,
what I
it
mean?
does, definitely.
But on the blueprint it says loudspeaker room, and I don't know.
Yeah. That's weird because the film's going that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual auditoriums curve in like that towards the screen, and
Yeah.
that's what you can see there.
Unless it was a PA speaker, did they used to have those in those days?
It could, I suppose, be PA speakers. There certainly isn't a corresponding room the other side.
Oh,
There's
right.
nothing like it the other side. I'll let you know if I manage to open it.
Oh yeah.
I'll take
Interesting.
photos.
Yeah. What's with this? Right, you got the wall here,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you got this.
Which is the old original wall. I mean, as I say, these car parks, I mean, these were all shops and houses all the way along here.
Yeah.
But then they were all demolished in like the 60s and 70s, and I guess this was like, something was built onto it. You can see here.
Yes,
Definitely something came out from here.
of course.
So I don't know.
These windows, were they?
Well, these are the back stairs.
Oh, right.
You know, the set of stairs that I said was the main entrance originally
Yes.
up to the circle. That's those two doors there. This is the office to the cinema.
Yes.
Hence the bars on it.
And up there.
That's the old rewind room that's our
Oh, of
staff
course,
room now.
yes.
That window there is the ladies' staff room that we went in.
Yes.
And that's just like a void area between the two levels.
Very interesting cinema.
Oh, I like it. I
Yeah.
mean, this is what I love about, old cinemas. It's just working out all the clues. It's like watching Time Team or something like that, You're trying to sort out, what went where,
Yeah. And I see that the person who invented Rupert Bear spent the last days
Yeah.
around the corner.
Yeah, that's where she lived for the last few years of
Yeah,
her life, at the
seen
Chaucer
that.
Hotel.
God.
Yeah. If you go in there, if you go into the lobby of the hotel, there's photos of when it was just like a big manor house.
Really?
And that road just there,
Yes.
along the side, is called Ivy Lane.
Yes.
And there's a photo of it, and it was just a little country lane, And of course, none of those buildings were there, and it was.
Really?
Yeah. And if you've got some time, you should go over and have a look. It's
I'd
very
like to,
interesting.
yeah. Thank you again.
No problem.
Thank
no
you.
problem.